And we are about 10 minutes in, and we haven't talked about the Lakers.
Ooh, I'm kidding. Oh, you mean that W that we just got? I just threw gang signs on the air.
Yeah, the curse of Vivien has been lifted. The curse of Vivien has been lifted thanks to the Lakers and Anthony Davis.
And I gotta say, shout out to do you follow Master Red Snapper on Twitter?
Through VRLA.
Okay, yeah. He's hilarious. Don't know his real name. I'm assuming that's what it is. He was born that way. But his avatar, it just says was it the curse of Vivien, but in Laker fonts. It's so funny. And the fact that we were cursed, we were losing when this happened.
Because the Lakers dropped 2 to to the Mavericks, and then the game while the Lakers were playing and everything was being uncovered about Vivien was the Utah Jazz.
That's what it was. It was Utah.
Yeah.
Once again, those pesky Utah Jazzers. We finally broke the curse, so I think we're gonna start winning again. I even watched to make sure, let's, because I was keeping track of the score, but I just didn't want to. I don't want to be heartbroken yet. I'm okay, this isn't, because we haven't been winning lately. So I've been okay, and I understand the situation that we're in. Our 2 of our top guys are banged up. It's just the way how it is. There's no analyzer. There's no other way to put it. That's it. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we won, though, I was okay, cool. But I mean, we're celebrating a win against Ontario Magic. Yes, the Ontario Magic, the Orlando Magic. And I'll take it. I mean, but a win's a win. That's why I took it.
Well, here's okay. So the Lakers are in the 5th seed right now, currently, if the Western Conference were to go into the playoffs. And then the Dallas Mavericks, the team that they lost to twice, is behind them in the 6th seed. So the Lakers are actually closer to the Mavericks than they are the 4th seeded team, which is the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are about 4 games in front of the Lakers, while the Lakers only have now 2.5 games. It was a game and a half until the Mavericks lost the same night the Lakers won. The Mavericks, they lost to the Kings.
Wait, what?
They lost to the Sacramento Kings last night.
Oh boy.
So the Lakers now have a 2.5 game lead over the Mavericks. I know a lot of people were watching the first game against the Dallas Mavericks and they saw how Anthony Davis took a while. He wasn't playing his best. And at the same time, I feel as if the Lakers got off to a slow start because of Anthony Davis, whereas as soon as they took him out, you saw the rotation that was already there while he was absent flourishing.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I was expecting with AD because, I mean, let's face it, you come back from a weekend or a vacation, you go back to work, you kind of sit there okay, how did I do this again? And so I figured that's what AD was going to do. But every time a player is out for so long, how long was he out for? 2 months?
He was out since, he he re-aggravated his Achilles in February.
He threw up his Achilles? What? Okay.
You just see it slowly climbing up his body.
It's like an Eric Andre sketch. Oh, my Achilles! What? And it's a heel. So he's been out for a minute. So it's I knew he was going to be slow, but I mean, I kind of feel like here comes conspiracy time. Don't we have a soundbite for something like that? No, okay.
It's X-Files.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. But I kind of felt like all this was strategically planned because it just so happens we're getting closer to the end of the regular season into the playoffs. We're going to have a 100% Anthony Davis, 100% LeBron James. We sacrificed maybe 4 or 5 games technically, since we're only 4 games behind. You said, or 4 games?
4 games in back of the Denver Nuggets,
and then behind. What you said? 2, 4?
No, they're behind the Nuggets.
Well, Denver Nuggets, but the
games,
Mavs,
and then they're in front of the Mavs by 2.5.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it's not. I mean, they're kind of tailing in, but it's. I could see this as being worth it.
And another thing, the Lakers. Okay, the Lakers could have been in a worse position considering that. If you remember at the start of the season, this team was very dependent on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Yeah. And there was always that time where Vogel would always have the lineup where one of the stars had to be on the court at all times. Now you could see Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Dennis Schroeder, say what you will, Andre Drummond, say what you will, Montrezl Harrell. There's a lot of players now that will be able to be independent on the floor. I know, again, Andre Drummond hasn't, and Anthony Irwin will join us next segment. He'll talk and share his grievances about Andre Drummond. But I think Andre Drummond is doing a good job so far, and Montrezl Harrell has been 10 times the defender he has since he was with the Clippers.
They're flourishing. They're growing up, Well, we can't really call these kids because they're not really kids. We shipped them off a long time ago, which I'll do it again 3 times in a row. Every time for a championship. You tell me we gotta ship off Julius. Well, Julius didn't ship off, but all the other guys. But yeah, I'll take it every time. But I mean, we needed this. It's one of those things where you find out who you really are when you kind of have to be self-reliant, and that's what these players pretty much figured out. With Montrez, even with KCP. Mm-hmm. KCP's been balling too. THT, Taylor Horland Tucker balled out the other night, and I mean, but that's what happens. It's like, okay, mom and dad aren't home. We got to feed ourselves. Let's feed ourselves. Now it's like, hey, mom and dad, take all the time you want away from us. We figured it out. And I kind of feel like these kids figured it out.
This is a joke that I wrote on the Fear LA page.
Let's hear it.
The best way I could put my happiness for Ingram, Zoe, Randall, and Clarkson succeeding while this Laker squad is chasing another ring, it's like watching your kids graduate college while you and your significant other have sex in an empty home all the time.
Loudly, by the way. Loudly.